Did you look at the stars with wonder in your eyes, imagining how it all could be?
For days, excited Jews from all over Palestine have crowded into Jerusalem for the Passover feast. But on Friday morning, the city is greeted with startling news. Jesus of Nazareth is going to be crucified for treason. Jesus is now in the hands of the Roman soldiers, who force him to carry a heavy cross through the streets to a hill called Golgotha, the place of the skull. As Jesus stumbles under the weight of his cross, the streets fill with a strange mixture of spectators and mourners, priests and Pharisees who demand Jesus' death, women weeping for the man who forgave sins and healed the sick, curious onlookers who want only to see the condemned man carry his cross. 2 robbers are sentenced to crucifixion as well. On the way, Jesus falls under the weight of the heavy cross. To keep the ugly procession moving, the Roman officers seize a bystander, Simon of Cyrene. "You, carry the cross for him." It's about 9 o'clock in the morning when Jesus and the 2 robbers reach Golgotha. Soldiers nail the Son of God to a cross between the robbers. Pilate's sign hangs over his head, "Jesus of Nazareth, the King of the Jews." "Father, forgive them. They don't know what they're doing." To the Roman soldiers, Jesus is just another criminal. They notice that Jesus has a nice robe. "This robe is seamless. How should we divide it? It's too good to tear into pieces. Let's gamble for it." As Jesus' friends stand watching him suffer, curious crowds pass by. Some who want him to die taunt him. "If you are the King of the Jews, come down from the cross. Then we'll believe you." One of the robbers crucified with Jesus hurls insults at him too. "If you're the Messiah, save yourself and save us. Have some respect for God. We deserve to die for our crimes, but this man has done nothing wrong." "Lord, remember me when you come into your kingdom. Today you will be with me in heaven." Jesus looks down and sees his mother, Mary, and his friend John at the foot of the cross, watching his agony. "John, take care of my mother." John takes Mary to his own home and cares for her like his own mother. It is now noon. A strange shadow covers the land. Jesus suffers for 3 hours under the dark sky, and then cries out to God. "Father, I put my spirit in your hands." Jesus dies. At that moment, an earthquake shakes the ground. At the very same moment in Jerusalem, the veil in the holiest part of the temple has ripped into 2 pieces. What can it mean? On a hill called Calvary, the Son of God gave his life for the sins of the world. The veil in the temple no longer separates us from the presence of God. Jesus, the Son, opened the way to God, the Father. Outside the city, even the Roman officer in charge of the execution is awed by what happened. Reverently, he looks up at the man who forgave his enemies. Truly, this man was God's Son. A soldier stabs Jesus with a spear to make sure he's dead. The witnesses are filled with grief. They slowly go back to Jerusalem. They've now lost all hope that Jesus was the promised Savior who would deliver them from the Romans. In Jerusalem, Joseph of Arimathea, a secret believer in Jesus, goes to Pilate. "May I have the body of Jesus so that we may bury it before the Sabbath?" "Yes, I'll give orders to the officer in charge."